Board, and we are good to go.
Sweet. How's everybody doing?
Good, good, good. And everybody who is listening, welcome to the Rogue Contenders Podcast. We have the original crew here today. Jay Crane was able to make it in, which is always awesome. Always awesome to have a full staff member. Is that what we call it?
Yeah, you're fair, right?
And then, of course, we got Drake the Duelist on here as well. And like I said, again, we are the Rogue Contenders. We got some fun topics to talk about today, some recaps from last week as well, and some new things that I feel like a lot of people would like to hear us talk about.
Yeah, for sure. Oh man, I'm just getting hyped though with all these spoilers.
I'm getting I'm getting very antsy, and at this point I'm sick of waiting.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I think I've dug into the new set enough, and it's like most of the stuff that's coming out is like the rares and the epics that we're seeing, but it's like it's gonna be the commons that shape the set.
Oh yeah, for
The
sure.
commons, the uncommons, that's what's gonna dictate a lot. And like I was saying the other podcast about Plasmax and what that meant to the meta versus what some legendary rare is gonna do.
Oh,
Right,
yeah.
Like some people are going to get the legendary rare, everybody's going to get the Plasmax, and everybody's going to be playing around it.
Exactly. And like I said, I'm waiting because I know they've announced a lot of stuff, but I still haven't really seen any of the new stuff that really works well with the old stuff. Maybe like 1-2 cards here, but they say like, oh, set one will be very still prevalent in set two. I personally haven't seen that yet. Have you guys seen anything that's like?
That's exactly that was the point I was gonna make. I feel like, especially me, like I've been concentrating on trying to see what's coming in the next set that supports Moxie and stuff like that,
Mhm.
and I'm not seeing it yet, and I hope that the reason why is because with the spoilers they kind of wanted to showcase the Harbingers.
Yeah.
Because I feel like most of the stuff we've seen has been Harbingers or Haven oriented. So I'm hoping that's what it is. I'm hoping, kind of like Drake is saying, that more of the common cards are going to be the cards that give support to the old cards, and we'll see some of that stuff there.
Yeah, that's what I'm really hoping for. Because again, I'm seeing a lot of stuff that counters set stuff from set one, but I'm not
Yep.
seeing anything that's like, okay, hey, I need to go and pick up some more set one cards because this looks really good. And like Drake said, like they haven't even really shown the commons, uncommons, and a lot of the rares, a lot of epics, legendaries, alt arts, which I think is really cool to kind of showcase the art style. But now let's see. Okay, cool. What am I building my deck? What am I upgrading my existing decks with? I don't want. I'm not saying I don't because I'm going to, but I don't want it like cool. Set two, I got to build all new decks, and nothing really works with the stuff I already have because I feel like I feel like that's the worst thing to do.
Right, 100%. Yeah, I agree with that. That is definitely not something that I want. So, I'm hoping that we'll see it when the set comes out. Because spoilers at the end of the day, everybody always thinks they're getting a lot of spoilers, and then when the set actually comes out, they're like, "Well, there's so many cards that I didn't see." So, um, I think they're doing it right. I like how they did the spoilers. Pretty much putting out a list at the beginning. It made it real easy as a content creator to kind of find everything I needed and when I needed it. Although it felt like sometimes some of the people missed their mark. But yeah, I think it was good, and I think we have a little bit less than a week left of spoilers.
Yeah, because I think it said
Yeah.
it's October 3rd.
Yeah, October 3rd.
Okay.
Yeah. It might be a semantic thing, because it's like, do you really want to see something that's stupidly overpowered or not? I think that Rising Empire is better off, like, sort of hampering things in a bit and not making this stupid, everybody's got to get 4 of this card.
Right.
Right. I agree with that.
Yeah.
There are definitely some of those, and Bringer. But
You
it's
don't want it to
definitely
be
a lot
too many.
tamer If you're looking for a Kagan, well, there's literally a Kagan, but if you're looking for something on the level of Kagan the Dragon, you're probably not going to find it in this set. I think the game is healthier for it.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. And now having cards that are triggered when an ability goes off and you're able to stop that ability, I think that's awesome because that's going to be a huge defense against Kagan. So it's nice to also see that kind of finding ways to lower the abilities of stuff that did come out in set one that obviously you could tell are shaping the meta.
Yeah, it's true. 100% true.
Yeah. And maybe this is just something I'm feeling, but based on like the stuff that I've seen, are you feeling that this set 2 is really fleshing out the mid-range a bit more? Because a lot of the stuff set 1's landed really heavy on the 5s, the 6s, and the 7s. All your big flares, all your Machinas, all your Kagans kind of boom on the low end, but still lots of heavy stuff. Versus here, we're starting to see lots of stuff in that 3-4 range. Like we're seeing that 4 Kagan, we're seeing that 4 Apex.
Yep.
I 100%.
Seems like they want to extend the mid game.
Like I've seen a lot more
a lot of
3-cost, 4-cost cards, so that are actually good to play in this upcoming set.
Yeah, like a lot of the Harbingers are having their big rares in that 3 to 4 slot. Because there were a lot of 5-6s before, and there was that one really anomalous, uncontrollable Torque. But other than that, everything was like really high level. Now everything's started being at more moderate cost ranges, more moderate power levels, or seeming to be moderate power levels. Because that's the thing. When Kagan first came out, who really thought that Kagan was going to be what it became? Because Kagan's ability is really humble, but it's very potent.
I'm be honest. When I first saw it, I was not impressed because of the 6 cost, it needing 4 green, and to pop one thing, I kind of threw it to the side like, okay, this is good. And I started seeing the prices of it. I'm like, why is this card $30, and then I play with it, and I'm like, oh, I get it now.
Yeah.
Honestly, it was Flare Explosive Combatant for me because like the ability to just like take an entire field and just level out the chaff. That seems really powerful for someone like me.
For me, it was the Machina, the 6th one.
No, that's very fair.
Yeah, that card is, someone puts that card on field, and that's a big slap in the face.
He's big Russian.
Yeah, it's tough, and from what I'm seeing, he's getting tons of support.
Yeah, he gets tons of support.
We're gonna see more of that. I think it'll probably become a bigger issue.
And speaking of that, do you guys feel? Because I feel like in set 1, there's not a lot of multi obstruct to do it. Do you think in set 2 you can start seeing a lot more cards, a lot more clash cards that will obstruct a single attacker? Do you think we're finally getting to that level, or we're still going to be one obstruct, let it go, and call it a day?
There's kind of multi-obstruct in set 2 in the form of you obstruct one thing and then stand back up and then obstruct another. That's how Last Stand works. There's also the Conquest gimmick where he basically attacks and then restands. At least one of his cards does that, if not more. So it's like being able to sort of double duty. It's kind of like a rawer version of Vigilance, if you can think of it that way.
Okay, yeah, I can see that.
Oh, I know which one you're talking about now. Now I know which one you're talking about once you said that. Yeah, I think that is going to be, actually, that'll probably be the card that makes it so that more people obstruct multiple times.
Yeah, I think that's going to be some serious tech later on. Maybe not a full play style to do it, but just having it around to be able to pull that stunt.
And also, I'm liking, I know we touched on it a little bit last week, that there's more weapons, but also there's a lot more traps now.
There is a lot more traps.
So it makes
a lot more weapons.
Like a lot more weapons. So for me, it makes whatever the one for white. I can't remember the name right now. It's going to bother me. and Magnate's Plan or Trap, those cards are more
Yep.
relevant now because, like, cool, for 2, I can get rid of your accessory. It's no longer, oh, cool, Sharpshooter Moxie, I'm going to get rid of it. It's, I don't know what you have face down now.
Yeah.
And and also I feel like Gotcha is going to become very, very prevalent.
Oh, Gotcha was one. I swear, Gotcha was a sleeper hit last set. It is going to
Yeah, I
become
was gonna say, I
so.
use Gotcha in my Moxie deck. I use Gotchas.
Like-
I have 3 of them in there.
Like Gotcha is literally, I feel like it's going to be either a staple in your deck or it's 100% going to be a staple in your sideboard because there's so many
it's
more
definitely
accessory and
side.
traps. Like it's so.
Then again, there is in, I think, blue, there's that new one that they revealed fairly recently, which is kind of a gotcha, but it's a little bit more complicated in that it sets it back face down, and if you have a certain condition met, it will actually destroy it or another accessory. Something along those lines.
Speaking of that, so there's 2 cards. There's 2 cards that got revealed that I definitely want to get you guys the insight on. I know there's been a little chatter on it. The one I'm drawing a blank on the name, but it's basically when you play this, you can counterplay a Clash Ground being played and destroy both of them. And the next one is the 1 cost that allows you to search out any Clash Ground and add it to the top of your deck.
That's the black one.
First one is Warzone.
Warzone? Okay.
Let's see. I got Warzone right here. I have it up for anyone that's on TikTok. You're able to see it.
And then the one drop that
Card.
Yeah,
And it says you may only activate this effect when an opponent plays a Clash Ground. Send that Clash Ground to the Oblivion. It does not enter play. Then send this Clash Ground to Oblivion. At the end of each player's turn, that player may ready up to 1 Harbinger Clash card they control, and Harbingers get +1/+0. Yeah,
Right.
that's mean.
Like I feel that card is going to be disgusting.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's
Yeah.
pretty much, I put this Clash Ground out. If you try to use a Clash Ground to take mine out, I'm taking us both out. I don't care regardless, so you're not going to get yours. This is going to be mean.
And you think about, and it says as a counterplay, yeah, you keep cards, open, and I feel like that's how we're moving towards, where it's gonna be, you're gonna pass your turn with a lot more cards open, which I feel, to me, is probably the best part about the game, is that, cool, you left 3 open, what are you about to do?
Yeah.
So now I can have you waste your resource to play your card, I can get rid of both of it, comes back to my turn, I reset. Now I can play, or you can. I'm not a huge fan of interrupting plays. That's why I'm not a big fan of Yu-Gi-Oh anymore. But I am okay when it's like 1 or 2 cards kind of disrupt.
Right. You don't like stacks of interaction.
Yeah, I think when you start going into like a huge chain mechanics, it'll throw off your average player. Who's like, okay, cool. So this chain timing came here, then this one came here. Okay, then it resolved backwards. That's. I say I love how it's, hey, I do this. Can you respond? Cool. Then we kind of go on.
Yeah, for sure. And then the one that you were talking about, Drake, was it Sideswipe?
Yeah, the one that's basically going to be in contention for replacing, or essentially like being a different kind of gotcha. Maybe not replacing it per se, because it's slightly different.
Yep, that one is counter trap. Negate the effects of target trap being activated, then put it face down into its owner's accessory zone. Then if you control 2 or more Clash cards, you may send target accessory to the Oblivion.
Ooh.
Yeah. The funny thing is the art shows Mean Street clowning on Magnate, when really Magnate is the one who wants that, because he's the swarmy one. Or potentially Moxie.
Yeah, for sure. Well, Moxie, yeah, I guess at Moxie, if you want to get rid of other people's accessories.
Yeah, because I'm sorry, like, with Moxie, I need to burn every single accessory. That's what I say again. I feel like we are still in a calm of the storm. Because I'm sorry, I just don't feel like, I don't want to believe that they're not going to give Moxie some kind of unnecessary weapon.
That's what I'm saying. I've been waiting for it, man. I've been waiting for it. I'm
Yeah,
waiting for my
I think
weapons.
that's
I'm
what
waiting to see
A10
these red
Warthog is supposed
weapons.
to be.
What was that,
I
Drake?
think that's what A10 Warthog is supposed to be.
And people are forgetting about A10
Well,
Warhawk.
yeah, that's a good relic, but I'm talking about weapons. That's
I
a
think
relic. I
that
want to see
one
the
you may
red
want to
weapon.
wait for the Machina starter.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That one's gonna have some weapons, and like Siberia, it's like Moxie players are already spinning their gears on that one.
Yep. Oh yeah, I bet. Oh, in my head, I'm figuring out how I'm gonna do this black red deck. For sure, I'm gonna go black red, and people are gonna have to worry about getting pinged while I just set weapons on the field. But my biggest worry right now is just the amount of Clash Ground hate cards that are coming out.
Yeah,
Because
it's so
Yeah,
many.
yeah, it's like every good Clash Ground is by definition Clash Ground hate.
yep.
Because
So
it's definitely. Oh, you're gonna play New York City? Nah, no, no, you're not. You play United Nations? No, you're not. You
yeah.
Yeah,
better stick to rainforest and call it a day.
Yeah, which one was the one? Okay, yeah, Siberia. That's the one. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
Siberia,
I need
Siberia is
four.
nasty.
I need four of those in my deck immediately, right on top of United Nations. I'll put 8 Clash Grounds in my deck. I don't care.
See,
yeah, it's like Moxie wants 4 of that, 4 of Torque redirecting, because
Yep,
everybody who can run redirecting wants redirecting. She wants Boom, and she wants Solar Smash. There's your core.
yep, 100%, 100%. And I'm just gonna. Oof, I can't wait. I
Yeah.
cannot wait.
Here's another thing that I wonder if people picked up on it. Siberia is only 1 red cost.
yes,
Yep, just one red. Yeah, yep. See, and that's another thing because like typically, like for example, right now with my Moxie deck, I don't run a ton of white cards. I think in total there's only 12 of them, but all of them only need one white. So I typically only put 1 or 2 white cards as resources, because they don't really need them. So, and then I'll just play off of that. So I think that catches a lot of people by surprise that I play like a lot of low levels, but it's kind of like what Drake was saying. There were so many high resource cost creatures in this first set that people couldn't handle the amount of stuff that I was putting out. Very, very fast. Every single clash card I cost between 1 and 3, and I'm putting them out every single turn. So now, unfortunately, I feel like that strategy is going to have to change completely because of the fact that, like Drake said, we're getting a ton of mid game stuff. It's if the game gets extended longer than 9 turns, Moxie, I feel like right now, without the any support that's being revealed, is missing out because at the end of the day, like her 8 cost one, yeah, it's good and stuff like that, but compared to other colors, 8 cost one, I don't think so.
yeah. I can speak to that firsthand because again, when you dropped that, I was not prepared. I didn't know what to do. I was not drawing Kagen, and I'm like, well, yeah, that's it. All right, perfect, perfect, perfect. So moving on
I was,
to
I was going to throw this out though before
yeah,
we change subject. Drake, what do you play? I don't think I've heard you once say who is your main right now.
Oh, Torque, definitely.
Okay,
If I'm paying to win, Torque.
I
Like
understand
in a
that. I
tournament
have
setting, Torque. But I've got something for like all the contenders. Just Torque is my main, definitely.
I get it. I get it. I have a Torque red green that is the deck that I play if I'm trying to win, like let's say a tournament or something like that. But mostly I play Moxie.
see, I keep it for tournament sake. I keep it very very generic. I play Torque Red White. Like, that is a deck that I harped on and worked on the most, and I just I like the white being in there, and basically just the havens to go cool. Let me go ahead and ping myself, draw some cards, heal myself back up, and just slow roll.
Well, I'll say this: the number one player, Marcus, that we talked about last time, he also runs red white. So it is, I will say, a great deck that he has not lost one match.
Which is so insane to me.
Yeah. And
That
I've seen it. I've seen it week after week after week, and I've played against him, and I've tried, and I've gotten close, but his deck is disgusting. I will not say how bad that kid just hands out whippings.
now the one that keeps
What Clash Grounds do you run in red white? Because that was always the thing that tripped me up about that particular combination.
I don't
So
run
I'll say
any.
this: he doesn't run any. He
I don't
doesn't
I
run
don't run
any
I don't
Clash
run
Grounds
any.
because he doesn't give me enough time.
Okay, yeah, because one of the main things stopping me from going red white was the whole, not even I want Kagan, but just the whole anti synergy of Here Comes the Boom and Grant Park Chicago. If you run both of those in the same deck, you are going to hit a situation where Grant Park Chicago stops you from booming somebody.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, like, and that's why I said when I tweaked it, I ended up taking it out because it was first I was playing it for just to be able to search out a card, but I said no, I have enough draw in here where I can just draw the cards I need, and yeah, for me, it just it didn't give me the results that I wanted, and that's because I ran into a white black clarity deck, and it literally gave it the ammunition needed to literally wipe the floor with me. And I'm like, yeah, this will never happen again. I think I actually have a video. I think you actually commented on the video where I did that, and that's the first time I know. And the first time I know, I'm like, oh shit, this is not working the way I wanted to. I'm about to lose. Because
Yep. Hell,
nothing's worse than a 1/4 Haven coming at you talking about some hay. Like, that's terrible.
yeah, that's pretty bad.
All right, perfect. So moving on, we have then we have a couple topics to talk about. I want to talk about. I feel like we can talk about the last one, the toxic fandom, last. But I do want to talk about um with the rise of so many companies switching to digital platforms. Do we feel that the trading card game is going to eventually take over from the physical cards?
No.
Don't think so.
That's an immediate no.
Nope.
Yeah, maybe it could have before, but then something happened a few years ago called COVID, and that pretty much dashed any hopes of moving over to a pure digital battlefield. I think Magic was one of the first to try that, and in response, Flesh and Blood came out and did the exact opposite. That's literally why it's called Flesh and Blood, because you are intended to play the game in person, in flesh and blood.
Yeah.
When you have a game named after the idea of we do this in person, I don't think that there's ever going to be a market to move away from cardboard permanent. No way.
I personally think digital is a great way to get new players
Mm-hmm.
because it gives them a platform to learn the game where it's them versus a computer. They can do it whenever they want, and they can do it at their own pace. So I think it's good for that. Two, I think it's good to be like a gateway drug to people that maybe already know how to play and then decide, okay, I'm going to buy actual cards now. But I don't think it'll ever replace card. I think everybody that is into something like this, into a hobby that is like this, wants to do it in person. Some may not be able to. Me as a father, I can be an example to it. I don't get to do it in person as often as I want to. With Alpha Clash, I've worked with my wife to make it where I can do it as a weekly thing.
Okay.
But besides that, before that with Magic, I was lucky. I have people come over to my house, but me go to an LGS to play in person was maybe once every couple months. But with Alpha Clash, it's pulled me out of my shell, and it makes it where it's the only way I can play Alpha Clash. So I have to get out there, or I don't play. So I made sure to make it out there, and I think that is part of the excellence that is trading card games. Like, it pulls people that maybe on a normal day basis wouldn't socialize, wouldn't come out of their shell, and it helps them get out of that shell.
And that's my take on it. I like both, but I prefer going to tournaments. I prefer going to locals and meeting up with people. Some people I like, some people I don't. It's something that I do believe is kind of besides the collectors, and we'll touch on that part later. That's what really draws people in, is be able to physically touch something. I always say humans, they need physical touch. That's why, being in isolation is the most. People say that's worse than death, to be completely isolated. And I feel like if everything switched to full digital, yeah, you can Discord, yeah, you can talk, but you're missing that physicality. You're missing that being in front of someone. You're missing that reaction when someone, plays, does a comeback move or play a card that you didn't see, or is a card that's completely foiled out. Like I truly feel like that's why I don't think digital will ever fully take over, and that's kind of my point. I feel like we're all in agreement that digital is a nice thing to have, but I don't see it as the future. I know a couple of younger people are saying that digital is the future. I don't see it. I really just don't ever see a company saying, cool, we're going to shore our resources on doing digital and make 1/3 of the money.
Right.
I think people are thinking about it wrong. Digital is not the enemy of cardboard. Digital is cardboard's friend. It's supplement. When you can't make it out, it's going to be there for those people. Mm-hmm. But it's going to be always in tandem with the cardboard, a support of the cardboard, rather than something to try and compete against it or to move people away from cardboard. Don't move people away from the cardboard. They like the cardboard.
Yeah, people like it too much. People like cracking packs. It is what it is. People enjoy it. And I know that it's kind of like some people say, it's like, well, it's along the same lines as gambling. Like, you're putting in $5 and you're hoping that you get certain things. But you know what? If that's what you want to consider it, then there's no changing your mind to that. But at the end of the day, the fact that we get to keep what comes out of it, regardless if it's worth anything, and we can play with them, mm-hmm. I don't consider it gambling. We're paying for a product that we're using to play. If we happen to get something that either looks awesome or is worth something, that's a bonus of it. But I don't think, except for obviously scalper type people, I don't think anybody opens these packs not thinking that they're getting some kind of worth out of it. That's not just money.
And I always say, to the gambling, people say, oh, it's gambling. I say, but the difference is, when you gamble your money in a casino, you're never seeing that money again. At least with this, I can take it and get some type of money back.
Yeah.
Or I can play it, or right.
Yeah.
I say that I feel like you'll never be at a loss with it. And that's also I feel like the thing about digital. If you purchase, coins or gems or etc. to buy cards, you'll never recoup that money back. Yeah. Like it's gone. And if the company comes out to say, hey, you no longer have access to these cards anymore, we own it, oh well, then you're literally screwed. You don't it's gone. You can never get it back. You can never get that money back. It's completely gone. And that's why I feel like digital, in that sense, that's gambling, because you're gambling every day. Well, will they do an update and say that my cards are invalid? I can't use them. I can't access them.
Yeah.
Now, how do you guys feel about things like Tabletop Simulator, or even the thing for Lorcana Pixelborn? How do you feel about those clienteles?
I don't know anything about Pixelborn. I think that's the client that you were showing on some of your other videos where Lorcana was happening.
Yes.
I couldn't entirely follow, but I at least got the gist of it. I have no idea what that meta looks like. I might like to see their card list, if they have anything like Alpha Clash does that shows everything in their catalog, but
I
don't feel comfortable judging the game on its mechanics until I get a full grasp of how it works.
Yeah, because they put the full card list on there. You can build, decks from all the cards that are available. It's I'll say it functions similar to TTS, but it's just strictly for that game, and it's free. But because it's free, unless you're a Patreon, it's buggy as hell. Like it is so bad. Like the videos I had to put up, I had to speed the video up because it kept stalling out so much. That like the two videos I did, the one for Levi, shout out to Levi. That original video was 30 minutes long for one game.
Wow.
That's how slow the clientele is. So I had to literally speed the video up, and that's how I got to the 8 minutes. And the one I just put up for Josh, that was it was, I think I did 2 matches. My footage was 2 hours long.
Wow.
And I had to speed up to get it down to the I think 14 minutes. Like that's how. I'm not saying it's terrible, but Jesus Christ, if you're a Patreon, put some money into it. I'm not gonna do it, but
you don't have the indie excuse. You're Disney.
Like you are Disney.
Yeah.
You know,
that's the thing. I personally think when it comes to stuff like Tabletop Simulator and stuff like that, like I definitely think companies should invest in it because of what we've already said. Like there's people that want to play the game and just can't. And if they have a digital way to play the game with people, people will spend money on it. So if you started selling packs and you did something where like through Tabletop Simulator where you'd get packs that way, if that's what you're looking to do is get money, you can get it. People will do that. And it will be a clientele that maybe you would not have gotten if it wasn't for that. But still, I feel like I said before, I don't think it's going to replace anything.
yeah,
I think it's going to be in addition to.
Cause I feel like Pokemon is probably the only company that I see. I mean, I guess Magic does it somewhat with their clientele, but I feel like Pokemon edges them out. They do it so well. You buy a pack, you get a code for a pack that you put onto the game. So now that it used to be. Now it's changed a little bit. Where I feel like they truly made the Pokemon Online 100% free to play, since they don't accept money at all. But I feel like hey, if I buy this pack has more value outside the card of the game because I can take it to the online client and I can either build decks to see what plays well, and then cool, this is what I'm gonna buy. So it's like you guys been saying, it can be a good gateway if done correctly.
Yeah. Yep. 100%.
And that's what I want. And speaking on that, do you think Alpha Class should have an official digital platform?
I think it's something that they should reach for. I don't think it needs it right now, but I think with what they've done with Tabletop Simulator is good. But I think obviously in the later plan, I think they should go for a digital format so that they can actually either monetize it in a certain way. Because at the end of the day, listen, we can pretend, obviously I would love it if it was free and stuff like that, but this stuff costs money.
Yeah.
Even at minimum, if they just do it to be able to pay the level of support that something like that is going to need, then they got to charge something. It's not going to be free. It is what it is. Obviously, like I said, we would love it if it was, but it is what it is. I think it would be awesome. I would definitely get into it. I'm not going to say that I'd run away from that.
Drake, what's your thought?
Yeah, it's like, as someone who is in the software development industry, I can speak to this a little more than most, asterisk, and not employed right this second, but the point being, based on what I've seen from Alpha Clash, it is immaculately well designed to be shifted towards being played digitally, even in some kind of like AI system or like a campaign-based game that you play through, sort of like the really old Yu-Gi-Oh games from way back when.
I remember those.
But the mechanics are not so difficult where it would make it very easy to program it.
Yeah, because the chains aren't very deep, because the responses are so strict, it's very easy to code. Relatively speaking.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you don't need to keep it. There is, Yeah, I don't think there really is a sort of I have a face down mystical space typhoon, and then the game keeps poking you every time someone sneezes on planet Earth. Every time ask if you want to activate your mystical space typhoon
Oh
over
Jesus
and over
Christ!
and over
I
again.
hated that so much because I when you said that, it immediately took me back to the Yu-Gi-Oh GX game on GBA, where whenever you touch something, you sure you want to activate this? No. Are you sure you want to activate this? No. You sure you want to activate this? Jesus Christ! It says no.
Yeah.
That's why Magic invented F2.
Okay. So I'm a terrible Magic player. What is F2?
It's give priority to a single action. F6 is give priority for the rest of the turn.
Huh.
See, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's really old Magic lore. Kind of funny story behind one of them. One time in a Magic tournament, somebody was really going off, and the other person just got so tired of watching and were pretty sure that they were dead anyway that they just took out a piece of paper, wrote F6 on it, put it on the table, and then just walked off and chatted with people until he finally got comboed out of the game. And of course he did, but Magic history.
Wow.
Now that's funny. Now that's funny. I literally just lost my train of thought, but it had something to do on lawns with the digital about tournaments. I know they keep saying that, hey, tournament stuff is coming. Okay, I'm trying to think how to say this and not sound like I'm bitching, but kind of I want to make a point. Do you think getting tournament or organized play should be a priority over everything else?
Well,
what is everything else?
Exactly. Exactly.
That's like I don't like. I'm trying to think how to say this because I'm not saying it in a negative way. But I love the book campaign. I do love the book. I do. I am very, very avid for this book. Again, if you got it, I can't talk about it yet, but I want to so fucking bad. But should how do I say this?
The question.
I'm just like, should that have been a priority over getting organized play together? I know they said it's coming, they've been working on it, but do you think maybe it should have been organized play first, then the novel Kickstarter? Or what they did was perfectly fine?
I think what they did was smarter.
Okay.
Think it was smarter. I think right now, so like let's say if they did prioritize tournament play right now, there isn't even that many places that are doing even just weekly tournaments right now. I know players that aren't playing at all. And it's because mostly where the places where weekly tournaments are happening are like in that Midwest area of where like the game is coming out. I think what they need to do is get people talking about the game.
Mm-hmm.
They need people to understand how serious they are of the product, how serious they are about setting up the lore for a brand new universe that has nothing to do with anything else. You know, it's not like Disney, where Disney could be like, I'm going to prioritize tournament play because everyone knows what Disney is.
Yeah, that's true. Okay.
Alpha Clash, I feel like, came out in a time that was really, really difficult because of the fact that Lorcana came out like right after it. There was people that were already invested in Lorcana that didn't have money to invest in a new IP. And you know, with the second set coming out now, I think people are now starting to take it more serious. Um, but before that, I don't think tournament play would really have mattered. They would have set it up, and then there would be barely enough players to set up tournaments in different places because there'd be no interest.
Okay. You know what? For that perspective, I can definitely say I agree with you. I can definitely agree because again, people don't know about it, people are not interested in it. Then organized play wouldn't even make. You know what? Yeah. No. That's a good ass point. That Yeah, no, I got nothing to say.
Drake, what do you
Yeah.
think?
I'm on the pro side, but not incredibly strong because either one will work. It just both will do different things. And it seems the bet that Alpha Clash is making, that Rising Empire Studios is making, is they're betting on their lore. And I think that's a pretty good way to go forward because I don't think the game's really going to be complex enough for lots of really interesting tournament play for another like set or two or three past where we're at. Like once we're at set 4, we're going to see some interesting stuff.
Yeah, we're gonna see crazy cards.
I'm not
Like,
even
we're
I'm not
barely
even
getting
playtester
four
spoiling
cards.
anything. It's we're going to see so many cards out that we're going to see some interesting combinations that we even haven't thought of yet. Or that
100%.
they haven't even thought of yet. They could know what the cards are, and they wouldn't have thought of the combinations that we're going to come up with just brute force testing it. But anyway, the point is they're going for the lore, and that's probably the better play because they are invested in it. And they want to get everybody else as invested in the lore as possible. The other thing is that the cards kind of spoil the lore. So you might as well
Yeah.
lead with a book sooner than later. In
Yeah,
fact, I
yeah.
probably would have led with a book before the cards.
I
entirely
can
if I were doing
say
it.
I can say truly that
100%.
yes, like the book is like
Give it away.
I was say, okay, you sure? You say I can't talk about it, can't spoil it, but you dropping all the spoilers. I can't tell you which one is which, but I said, but you done gave a lot.
Yeah. Yep. So, I don't know. All
Yeah,
I'm
it's like
saying
there's
is-
so much in the cards that we're seeing already. I think it's pretty much verified based on just anybody keeping up with the card rumors. Sonoro gets clarified.
hey, we'll have to see.
Or, yeah, maybe it misses.
Like I said, I still want a Sunroad card where his legs get broken. I will keep harping on for that. And I swear I know Ridge gets on my nerves. I get on Ridge nerves. Can I ask him all the time, when are we getting a Paul card? When,
Which card?
Yeah, Paul.
I say, when are we getting Paul? Like I don't want to hear anything else. When are we getting Paul?
I am surprised we haven't gotten Paul yet, because Paul is such a shoo-in for the kind of character that you see in the graphic novel, and you're sure he's going to have a card. It's not going to do much, but he's going to be there.
Like,
he could be like a avenging guy and not be that important, but he was there. You know he's getting something in cardboard.
Like I just want, like, it could be the worst card ever. It could literally say Paul Splash. This card does nothing, and it would be in my binder. I would have the hollow versions. It would come with an IR. I would have it. Cause I'm sorry, Paul's that guy. You tell me anybody's like, cool, all this destruction going on. You need a drink. Like, I love him. I'm like, he's so like, you know what? This is New York. What are you gonna do?
Yeah, that's the thing. I think Paul could actually be a good guard based
Yeah,
on
I
what we
think
see
so
in the
too.
lore. He could be one of those get a clash back from the discard pile or from Oblivion, because that's basically what he does in the story. He helps Moxie patch Weber up.
Yeah, or he could be another. Yes, this is a shoehorn. Another ramp card.
Yeah.
We're still missing that.
Oh, another draw.
Some more draws.
And
Like-
maybe
Yeah.
another 4 of him in my deck.
Like, just don't make him a 6 cost. No, you know what? No. I actually be cool with that. Now, let Paul, this is what I say. Hey, play Paul, have it be a 5 cost, draw 3, put 1 into your hand, 1 into your resource, discard the other.
Yeah.
Hypothetically, if there were a Paul card, it were 1/1, required 2 black resources, and it said play the top of your card as a resource, top card of your deck as a resource, would you play it?
Yes.
I would play that.
I without question.
Right now, even that's in blue that pretty much does that, where like it lets you put an additional resource down. I absolutely hate the fact that I don't have something like that because I love that card.
Yeah, the thing is, anybody who's played with that card could tell you there are some problems with that because that Haven is actually minusing you card advantage. So you need a lot of draw power in order to keep up and not gas out. That's why green blue never really took off. It's because green blue just cards itself to death.
You can't
That's what I'm
draw.
saying.
So
If I
if
could
you
put
got
it in my
something
black
off the
white
top of
deck,
your deck to become a resource, that how much would you pay for that?
yeah, I would be running 4.
I would be running for it. Like without, I would even question it. Like I don't care because again, that's my biggest issue with blue green. Yes, it can work once it gets going, but those first couple turns, it's the worst you can experience because you're just you can't draw, and that's why I feel like also, even though I love mean streak, and the cool thing about if a speed counter dies, you draw a card, but that's not the focus of the deck right now. Right now is getting the 4 cost mean streak and just piling speed counters on that. But then you're not really drawing.
Right.
I disagree. The Verticeptical version does a very decent draw game, even with its cheapest stuff.
And I'm guessing it's running the 8 havens that all draw for sure.
Absolutely.
No,
Really?
it is a blue-green variant that uses just lots and lots of speed counters. One of its main ones is actually Mean Streak 2. I forget what its surname is, but essentially it's the one that puts 2 speed counters on something, and then Mean Streak, the contender, will just shift one over to something else. So essentially you've got 2 defeat draw 1s. So just spam the board with defeat draw 1s.
Oh. Actually, I like
And
that.
then put New York out. And then they're 3-1s with flying, so they can block flying things.
And then get defeated and draw a card. I like that.
Like play against that deck, because that sounds
That sounds
Receptacle's deck is metal.
Yeah, that's awesome.
all right. Perfect. So going into our last. Oh, oh yeah, my bad.
Subject. I don't know if you're trying to go to another subject, but however, we got to talk about the fact that we're supposed to get more rewards for the Kickstarters tonight.
Yeah, so I did see that,
Yeah.
and I've been. They try to drain my bank account. I don't have it. Like
I'm not gonna lie to you. I have, and I'm going to again now, been selling my Magic cards. Uh, I've been selling a lot of Magic cards that I had in a binder just sitting around, and I'm like, you know what? I rather invest in Alpha Clash right now because Magic's doing me dirty. I feel so. I've been selling tons of Magic cards to pay for everything Alpha Clash.
and see, I'm a very big believer on separating the business from my personal. So a lot of this stuff is for me personally, and so it's like so again, like anything I sell from the store would never ever go towards to purchase this stuff. But I'm like, you're draining my bank account, but I, like it's like every day, like, hey man, give us some more money. I'm like, I don't got it. Yeah, you do. Take out a loan. I don't want to take out a loan. You take out a loan.
Yeah, right.
Cause I'm mad. I'm mad. I missed the black gold hats. Now that pissed. Now that made me mad. Like that broke my heart. Cause I. Oh wait, no, it's back.
And then it was gone again.
Oh no, like I'm looking at it right now. The black and gold fitted is back.
Oh, is it?
Yes,
right now?
It's up there
Oh, it's
right
still
now.
there.
Yes, it is there right now. I can't do this. Damn it! I bought it.
Let's see.
You felt the pull.
I bought it because this is what I've been crying about the whole time, and I need it.
Wow, that's nice. What else? They got the card binder. Did you either of you get the two player mat?
I did.
I did not. I'm not gonna have a good place to store that.
I gotcha.
So I got I think I got 2 of them. One for myself for videos, another one that we'll put like towards like the our tournaments as as prize support. So a lot of the extra stuff that I did get is literally gonna go towards prize support. It's gonna go to prize supports and giveaways to for people because I'm just I'm that person. I like giveaways.
That's awesome.
Like I really like giveaways. Like again, throwing in more plugs. We're running the giveaway for which actually, I'm gonna be honest, I'm gonna say it here on a live podcast. It was a fucking typo for the 2 Lorcana boxes when we hit 1,000 on TikTok.
Uh-huh.
Like that was a typo. It will be one.
Wait, I'm confused. Wait, so you weren't supposed to give 2 Lorcanas?
I was going to give away one when we hit 1,000 followers on TikTok and YouTube. We're going to give away 1 Lorcana booster box to one person. Somehow, when I typed it in, it said 2. And before I even noticed it said 2, people were like, "Oh, I'm so excited!" I'm like, "I can't renege now, so I'll keep it." But I'm like, "Fuck."
Yeah, that sucks.
Proofreading.
Like I didn't proof. I did not proofread them. I'm like, you know what? It's out there. Because again, when we got the Lorcana stuff, because we got heavily allocated, I kept a couple stuff to sell, a couple stuff to open up for the build decks for videos, and then stuff to keep for giveaways. Because a lot of people are not finding this stuff, and I want to be able to give things away. Like I said, I know you got the half decks. Actually, did they arrive?
I did. I got them. Yes, I was going to tell you.
Perfect. And that's what I wanted to do because there's so many people out there that are looking to make easy profit off of this. But I'm like, I want people to actually play the game. It's the same thing I did with Alpha Clash. Like, I want you to play the game. You're having trouble kicking up. I will send you stuff. I will send you half decks. So you know way you're not playing with just the clash decks. I will send that so that way people can play. I care more about players coming to play than making a profit off of something that I'm already making a profit off. I would just sell at normal MSRP.
Right.
I know some people say, "Oh, but you got overhead," and I don't never try, toot my own horn or share a lot of my business. But the building that's being repaired, I got that from my cousin for free. I had to pay the property tax on it.
I got you.
My dad's contractor, so he's helping rebuild it. So a lot of the stuff that I have to run the business, it's stuff that I just inherited from my family. So I don't have a lot of overhead costs. So I don't mind selling stuff at MSRP because I'm not looking to rip people off. I want people to actually come back and play the game. That's what I care more about is a loyal customer over that one customer looking to score a deal.
Right, of course. Yeah, unfortunately, the thing is just at this point, there's so many people that are just trying to make money off of it. Like, people have caught on to what TCGs are, and people are just throwing money and then reselling.
Yeah, because I don't know if you heard, I think it might have been just an Ohio thing, but one of our Amazon facility people, they got caught with basically stealing packages of Pokemon, of Lorcana, and of course they always did the Xbox and PS5s. For some reason, when Amazon ships your Xbox or PS5, they don't put it into another box. They just give you the PS5 box with nothing on it.
That's crazy.
And so they were caught with stealing, I think what they said was like $50,000 worth of product.
Wow.
They're just stealing and then were selling.
That's crazy.
Like it's sick, and I feel like that's a perfect segue to our last topic of the night: toxic fandom, and how it can just warp people in just any and especially we'll talk about card games, how it can just warp people's perception of a card game. And I feel like Lorcana right now is moving towards that toxic level where it's very hard to separate people who just want to play the game or people who are just looking to scout or people who are just looking to just be trolls about it. Like some of the comments I see in the Lorcana Facebook group are just downright terrible. Like they be like people like, "Hey, my kids, they like Disney. I just want to find a starter deck or two so they can play." And you have people, "Oh, you crybaby grown man, you sad play." Like just it's like, why?
Yeah. Unfortunately, there is a lot of hate there, but I think it's mostly because of the IP in general. I think if it wasn't Disney, then maybe Alpha Clash, I don't feel like has tons of haters right now. But it'll come. It'll come. It always does. And I think depending on how they react to it and how they handle it, will decide on how it works out. I think so far they've been pretty good about always just being really face forward with whatever happens. And I think as long as they keep doing that, I think they'll be fine.
I could say, speaking of Alpha Clash, that the situations that have arrived, it has been handled in a very mature way. Um, to speak, I'm not gonna name any names, but there's somebody that we all know in the Alpha Clash community who's been buying product, and I didn't know the name, and they got us for $6,000 in a chargeback.
Oh wow. Wow. See,
Six
that's rough. That's rough.
$6,000 chargeback, and our account that we do everything with is completely locked until that gets resolved.
Yeah, see, that's rough. Now but once again, that's that kind of stuff like it, you can't do anything against scalpers right now.
Mm-hmm.
There's no system that's going to stop that, unfortunately. It happens in everything. The movie tickets, tickets to shows, video games, like it happens in every there's always going to be somebody that's just trying to make a buck, and there's really no protection against that. And it sucks for the players in the end game. It's not going to suck for Rising Empire, you know what I mean? Like even look at Magic. I know tons and tons of people that just throw money at it and it's all for profit. And Magic doesn't care because Magic's still making money. It doesn't matter to Magic. Magic can do whatever they want. As long as the product is selling. So I think that it's gonna just be something they're gonna have to face when it happens.
I feel
There's no way to get away from it.
I feel like Rising Empire. I think it might have been you, Drake, who made a comment, and it was someone who made a comment about promos and how they can tear apart a community. About when you create a promo that is very very good, you only can get at one place, and it's a four of an every deck, and I'm saying that hey, we will never print a promo that you can't get in the set, and I feel like that also can help curve just that toxicity where it's like, hey, you need four of this card to play, but it's going to retail for $125 a piece.
Yeah, I don't like when that happens.
Yeah,
I
the
don't
Dark Arm Dragon effect.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. I don't like when that stuff happens. And it's kind of going back to that other conversation we had about Coggin. Like, I feel like you can see how they want to handle, even if something starts to feel like it's out of control. They're gonna address it directly, and they're gonna bring out cards that's gonna address that issue directly, so that it's not as OP as it can be. And then that way the card doesn't go crazy in price because it becomes the thing where like yeah it's a good ability but just know there's also four or five other cards that can stop that and it would make this card literally worthless to you.
Which again, I agree with that approach because again, it keeps down that. I think that's how I say this. I feel like it keeps everything at a fair price point for everyone,
Yeah.
and I feel like that is the key to kind of eliminating that need of oh mine's is better because I paid more money or mine's better because I went to every single event and I got this. You can't play this in my deck, so I'm going to always win. Which
Yeah.
which just it's that baseline of that toxicity. Like, hey, this card came out is a promo at PAX, like PAX EX, and you don't have it. I do, so I'm gonna go ahead and sell them for $125 a piece because you need four of them. So I went to the booth 25 times and I got them all. I feel like it's true. Like, cool. If you want this, this Lin 9/8 Warrior with the pack symbol on it, you can have it, but You also don't need to have it.
Yeah, yeah. I do like it. I think they're doing pretty good with the promos that they have coming out. I think they've been doing pretty fine. Uh, the only one that I hate, the only reason I hate is because I missed it, was the Team Covenant Torques. Uh, those are super expensive, and I cannot get them unless you pay a ton of money. So
What's the price? What's the price point on those right now? Because I know I
I
sold
don't want to know.
I've seen 400 for 4. So
400 for 4.
yeah,
What did I just say?
What?
Yeah.
Oh, I think I shot myself in the foot because I think I sold ours for $25.
Yeah, I'll check right now, eBay.
Yeah, that's tour guide prices.
Like, Jesus.
Let's see. Let's see right now.
What, are you checking eBay?
Yeah, I'm gonna check eBay right now if there's any listed. All right, so right now, it looks like it's the only one listed.
So, okay, so we got one.
$499.99 or best offer, and it
Yeah,
comes with authenticity guaranteed.
Yeah, I think there's a way to check like past sales, but I don't know off the top of my head. I think that would be more reliable because that could just be the same guy throwing it up there for 500.
You guys can keep talking. I'm just trying.
Yeah, so any listeners right now, we all are super sidetracked. We're looking at eBay for all prices. This is kind of see. Cause I know somebody made a comment today about the health of the game and how it's definitely moving in the right direction on eBay and different.
Yeah, I saw somebody posted that.
Okay, here's one I think is ridiculous. Somebody has 32 tournament entry promos for $90.
Wow.
Yeah, who would get that?
Wow.
Like I'm not saying they're not bad, but it's like, or you can just head over to Ryotin CCG. That's my plug to pick up the cards for. I believe we have like $5. I'm gonna spend 90. Now
that's great.
Now I will say there's one foil that I said they need to bring back and bring it back immediately. If you guys got any of the Kickstarter blue cards, they have like a purplish blue foiling to
it. Talking about the Havens and the Plasmax?
Yes.
Yeah, I have those. Yeah, those
that needs to come back, and
like colored foils. They were nice.
Well, those are nice, and the gold, like the incoming support gold, I want that foiling. Like I want that foiling really, really bad. But yeah, I mean, there's somebody, the prices on eBay are kind of all over, and I do see why people say they do want TCG player could kind of help regulate the prices over
100%.
over looking on eBay, because again, like it's a lot of cards on here that some people are selling like the Alpha Class comparator cards for $40 a piece. You have Kagen going for 40.
Yeah.
So prices are kind of all over the place. But again, I don't really feel like it's at that level where it's toxic.
Not yet. And I think now with the second set coming out, we're also going to see the market change. You're going to see cards like Kagen go down because there's now cards that go up against it. So we'll see a switch again. I think if I'm being honest, I think by third set, TCG will put them out.
Yeah, so I will go ahead and drop this onto the podcast because it's not necessarily like a secret, but everyone's been constantly contacting TCG player about going on there. So with me being a seller on there, I reached out to someone who I'm not going to mention, but they did inform me that they're already in the process of finalizing things with the publisher to add Alpha Clash to TCG players.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
There's no
Yeah.
time frame, but they are in. They're getting towards the end of getting on there.
Yeah, that'll be
Oh
nice.
man, yeah. I think we're still gonna see some like high price tags when we start getting onto there. I think Kagan's gonna like start at like a lot of 45s, but that's when things start like lowering down. It's all about seeing what the market's gonna take. Some idiot's gonna buy Kagan for 45,
I
and I hope it's worth it to them, but they're not gonna sell too many that way.
no, they're not.
And when they start getting a lot, that's when the prices go down. So even if the prices get just sticker shocked a bit, just wait a bit. Those prices, just judging from what I've seen in Magic, those prices fluctuate a lot, especially because it's such a volatile time in the game right now with it being so young and with 4 sets coming out and with all the promos coming out. It's like, who knows what the promos for the Kagans in the progenitor tier did to the value of that card.
100%. Yep.
It may have in fact made it worse.
Yeah, that's true. And I said, I know like the Kagan VIP promos, they actually went down.
The ones where he's like posed differently.
Yeah, and me personally, that's the art I prefer. Like I said, I have a couple of copies.
Promos, man. People.
Oh
you have
yeah,
no idea
like
how much people like these color leak promos.
Yes, but I said I really hope that by Christmas. Oh nope, I lied. Someone has the VIP promo for $700.
Oh yeah, that they're not selling that card.
Zero bids. Like that's going
Yeah.
to stay there.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, which is why eBay isn't a great metric for. It's like that's the metric for what people are trying to get away with, not what cards have actually gone for. So there
exactly.
is a metric way to do that, but I just don't know it off the top of my head.
Yeah.
And that's what I said. I really hope that everything goes through perfectly on TCG Player. I'm personally going to have an issue with it because I'm going to have to go and upload everything to 2 separate sites. So that part, I'm not going to lie, like, I'm not going to be happy because I don't. The biggest thing I hate more than anything in the whole wide world, I hate uploading. I do. I'll admit it. I hate uploading. I love opening up boxes for inventory, but I hate uploading the cards.
Yeah.
And nothing makes me more mad because I'm a person that I always work with urgency. So if I'm uploading cards, when I purchase something, I'll stop to package that package.
I gotcha.
Which, nope. But yeah, I mean that's pretty much all thing I had for this one. Any closing statements from anybody?
No, we're good. I'm just excited to see if anything else gets added to the add-ons. But yeah.
All right, so I do want to let you guys know how last week they performed. Last week on YouTube, I believe we were at I want to say 110 views on there, 6 downloads on podcast, 16 on RSS, and then I want to say 124 listens on SoundCloud for the first.
Right now we're at 1.4K likes on TikTok.
See, look at that. So again, like I said, we'll be bringing these videos to you again every week. And yeah, we'll sometimes have different, members in here or even special guests. What I definitely want to try to do is get one of the Alpha Class creators into the podcast. I think that'd be very great, but I know their time is very, very stretched thin with the, set 2 coming up. But again, to follow us on social media. The playback will be available on your podcasting preference, listening, and also if you want to watch it on YouTube, it'll be there, and also on TikTok. So again, this has been the Rogue Projector. Oh wow, Jesus Christ! Drake, what's her name?
Rogue Contenders.
We are the Rogue Contenders, and we are out.
All right, see ya.
All right, everybody.